at the Right to Information Commission. So, Stephen, let's start it this way. For those who probably may have forgotten what the Right to Information Act is all about, tell us briefly what the Act is all about before, and then we get into the mandate of the Right to Information Commission.
Thank you very much. So, the Right to Information Act is a law passed in 2019 by Parliament to spell out how people can access that constitutional right of access to information. So when we go under Article 21, Clause 1,
when I wake up in the morning,
right to information is one of the fundamental human rights and freedoms enjoyed by persons in Ghana. The Right to Information Act came to show how people can take steps to enjoy that right. So in simple terms, that is what the Right to Information Act is about.
What about the Commission, Right to Information Commission? What's their mandate under the Act?
Under Section 40 of the Act, the mandate of the Commission is to promote, to protect, to monitor, and to enforce this constitutional right of access to information I've made mention of. So basically, that is the preoccupation of the Right to Information Commission. There are details when it comes to the protection of the right, the promotion of the right, the monitoring of the right, and the enforcement of the Act. But everything the Commission does is geared towards promoting right to information, protecting right to information, monitoring compliance with people's right to information created under the Constitution and under the Act, and then enforcing the right.
So it's been 5 years, and I'm sure, after 5 years, there are a lot of things that you've been able to achieve. What would you say is the Commission's most impactful achievement?
For us, it is the knowledge we have been pushing for people to have an understanding of the law. So it's been our main focus to ensure that people understand the right to information and to understand the steps they can take under the Right to Information Act to enjoy this right to information. And so we have toured all 16 regions of Ghana, and everywhere we go, we hold public fora and invite a cross-section of the public, from schools to market women, everybody. And we explain the law. We allow people to ask all the questions. That aside, we go to the various institutions, public institutions, to sensitize management and staff on the Right to Information Act. And it's an ongoing exercise. Even as we speak, some of our team are visiting some institutions to sensitize management and staff. And for the past 2 years, we've also made it part of the efforts to sensitize people to go to churches and mosques, so that we can reach out to as many people as possible. So for us at the Right to Information Commission, this is a good achievement. And when we look at how people are using the law now to ask for information from public institutions, it tells us that more and more people are coming to terms with what their right is under the law. Aside that, we have been able to spread our tentacles to the Ashanti region. So we are in Ashanti region in Kumasi, we are in Sunyane for Bono, we are in Bolgatanga for Upper East, and we are hoping that, all things being equal, by the close of this year, we should at least be in Cape Coast. Let me hasten to add that, but for financial constraints, we should be ready to register presence in Takoradi, in Tamale, in Koforidua, and
all this year
in Ho. No, I said, but for
I guess
for financial constraints,
I guess
that means we will not be able to do it this year.
I guess if we bring up the issue of financial constraints, something all institutions of state face. So let's get into what we have control over.
But we have the facilities in all these areas, courtesy the magnanimity of Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. So these are their facilities they have availed to us to work on and use as our offices.
Great, but the Right to Information Commission is a key agency of state, and you don't need to have financial challenges.
We wish.
So the ministry should come to your aid ASAP. But let's talk about the activities, because I know once you're celebrating 5 years, you have some of the activities marking the celebration. What are these activities?
So what we are doing this morning is part of the activities, media engagement. We've been visiting some media houses to spread the news about the Right to Information Act, to get more people to understand, which is something we do every year, because every year we do the Right to Information Month, where we dedicate a whole month to reach out to people, to let people understand what the law is about and what they can do to access their right under the law. This year it coincides with the 5 years that we've been in existence. So what we are doing now is part of the programs earmarked to mark the 5 years anniversary. That is the media engagement. And on 23rd October, that is a week from today, we are having a stakeholder engagement at the Movenpick Ambassador Hotel, and we are expecting the president to be in attendance. For us, it's a period of stock taking, to look back and see what we have done right, what we can improve upon. So all stakeholders are being invited. I believe multimedia has received a letter already. Okay, so we would expect you there. And then beyond the stakeholder engagement on 23rd October, on 26th October, we are having a Thanksgiving service to thank God for how far He's brought us within the 5 years. And aside that, we also have some activities put down for staff bonding, but that has been pushed towards the end of the year.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But I realize that the theme, this year's theme, focuses on environmental information. Why environmental information?
Environmental information because it is topical. And this year, 28th September every year has been set aside by the United Nations as the International Day for Universal Access to Information. This year, it was held in Manila, in the Philippines, and the focus was on the environment. So it was on the environmental information. So we decided to flow along with the international focus on environmental information. Environmental information is key, but we all depend on the environment, right from survival to climate change, everything. And I don't want to mention the biggest challenge we have on our hands now. Galamsey. Okay, it borders on the environment. So we think we need to let people appreciate the need for us to take care of the environment, and let people, empower people to go to the institutions that hold information on the management of our environment. Doing that, they keep duty bearers accountable, and doing that, we all help to fight the menace we have around us in the environment. So that, and then in the digital era, because we are looking at getting to a point where the commission will be able to push these institutions that hold information on the environment to put out information, what we term as proactive disclosure. Okay, put out as much information about the environment as possible on their social media platforms. Okay, so that people wouldn't even have to apply to these institutions to get the information. So that is what we mean by in a digital era.
Great. I like that. But before we wrap it all up, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced in implementing the RTI law? Okay,
so I think I've already made mention of that, being a public institution.
The money aspect.
The money aspects.
Beyond the money.
Yeah, but see, I think we are receiving some positive hints from the government. Okay, and we will follow up on that. And we know the government shall make good its promise to assist us in that respect. Aside that, see, the knowledge gap in public institutions is also a huge challenge. When I talk about the knowledge gap, we are talking about how public institutions are still not putting in place the right structures to make themselves ready to receive applications from applicants and be able to respond to those applications and give out information. We've been doing institutional sensitization, as I did mention, okay, but we realize that there are still a number of institutions that are not putting in place the right structures. What are some of these structures? The law requires under Section 3 that every public institution should have an information unit. Yeah. It's just an information unit, just a simple space fitted with the equipment needed to receive applications and give out information. Scanner, photocopier, printer. But we monitor for this year, we go the following year, and you realize that nothing has improved. We've been doing sensitization, we've been educating public institutions on what they need to do to be in compliance with their obligations under the Act. So that's knowledge gap. A lot of public institutions still do not have information officers. Because Section 3 also says that aside the information unit, you should have an information officer. Okay, an officer designated for manning this information unit, receiving applications on behalf of the public institution, and then taking steps to respond to these applications to gather the information for people. A lot of the public institutions still do not have information officers. But the worrying thing is that we let them understand that when you come under the Act, the definition of of an information officer also includes a designated information officer. So you do not necessarily have to recruit a new person and train the person. You can give that responsibility as an added task to any of the existing officers. Okay, but it's still a fairly new law. We are still engaging public institutions, still assisting these public institutions that are default.
It's a long time.
Yes, 5 years we have been in existence, and but and
at least we gave ourselves a year to start implementation.
Yes, with the implementation started from 2020.
Yes, that's why we gave ourselves a year. So following passage and assent in 2019, we waited to 2020 to actually get everything underway.
Yes, but the figures on the flip side, the figures we are getting are not discouraging at all.
Okay.
More and more institutions are becoming compliant. Okay. The challenge I was talking about pertains to those few institutions that are still not living up to their mandate. The other challenge is the length of time institutions use to process applications. We realize that there are delays. Okay, there are delays, and under the law, we have a mandate to make suggestions for law reform, and implementing the law for the past 5 years. We've identified certain loopholes that we've already made proposals for amendment in future, and I can give you an example, and that is something that accounts for the delay. In public institutions, typical public institutions, when a letter is received, okay, before the letter will go through the bureaucracies and get to the addressee, okay, it takes quite some time. It takes quite some time, and so the challenge is that public institutions receive applications, and before the application will even be forwarded to the information officer, it takes time. This is a law that says that everything should be done within 14 days.
Yeah.
So it is a huge challenge.
Okay. So for those of us who want to reach you, maybe we have a concern or two that we want you to address for us. How do we reach you?
Okay, so we are active on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. You can reach us on RTIC Ghana. RTIC in small caps. Okay. RTIC Ghana, and then on LinkedIn, we are accessible on Right to Information Commission, spelled together, Right to Information Commission, and then you can also reach us on our website at www.rtic.gov.gh, and then our email is rticommission@rtic.gov.gh. So all our social media platforms are very active.
Stephen Owusu is head of Legal Department, Right to Information Commission. Thank you so much for joining us this morning here on the Super Morning Show. Now,